Welcome back to another Investor Success, where today I'm going to break down a deal for a client. Now, you're going to get really excited about this one when we start to talk in terms of the opportunity analysis. So this client has used our services before. We purchased in Bendigo, a growth suburb of California Gully. Good opportunity. We paid about $300,000 for the asset next door to what we purchased, and we're going to talk about today. $300,000, he was getting $320 a week rent, so great rental income at a very low entry point for a key growth location. So next door come up, an agent rang me off market, said the vendor's interested in selling. I know you purchased next door. So the key here is in having the relationships with the agents, knowing what you're doing, knowing where you've acquired, to say, hey, would your client be interested in going again? Because we've got next door available. So the existing asset he purchased was on about 650 square metres. There's another 650 square metres next door with significant frontage and depth. And we talk about value add when we get to strategy, development potential long term. But this young fella, young plumber, he is time poor. He doesn't have the skill, doesn't have the knowledge, just needed the guidance. So he came into the network. So we knew that he had the capacity after the first acquisition. We knew he had the capacity to spend another $400,000. He just wasn't ready to activate that. So this come up in Bendigo, so leading us back to that location, the key growth location, where capital growth is profound at the moment, that we can secure the deal. So the opportunity was next door, 650 square metres, nearly a cookie cutter of next door, 1,300 square metres of developable land over the long term. He's not in a position where he can execute that strategy today, but he wanted that up his sleeve. He wanted to be able to add value and manufacture some further growth. Okay, so he's already getting some positive cash flow from the assets. Next door, the one he purchased 12 months ago, this will also be positive cash flow based on his finance structure. Okay, so we're in a really good position once we evaluated to determine what he can do long term, and that's develop the land. So that's where the opportunity analysis. Now, we paid $390,000 for the property, pre-market. Okay, so you can sort of see the cookie cutter next door 12 months ago, how much the market shifted. But overall on that land component today, at under $700,000, would be both worth around $400,000 each. So he's sitting on equity, instant equity, from just being able to acquire a site side by side with development potential longer term, which is what he wanted. Now, he's not got the skill set to be able to execute that. But longer term, we know we can support with that. And he knows that also. That's what we've guided him through. So being able to acquire that site, validate the opportunity with what can be done through our professional development consultants to determine setbacks, overlay, where all the services are, and the likely scope of what he'll be able to get 6 townhouses on that lot. So that's a fantastic outcome. He's generating at the moment, he's going to be generating about $700 a week in rental return on those 2 assets at under $700,000 total acquisition cost for the 2 sites. So he had the value add. At that point in time, he wasn't an engaged client. The opportunity came to us, so I rang him. I knew he had the capacity, so I rang him and said, hey, what are your thoughts? Oh yeah, I don't want to pay that much. I said, you've got the scope, you've got the capacity, look at what's next door, look at what you can create here. Anyway, we talked through that. We educated and empowered him into making that decision, along with his family. And they saw the value long term, not just today with the cash flow, but long term as to what he can then create as a single young plumber. What a great start to your portfolio. So I hope you've seen value in that. If there's any questions, drop a comment below. Thanks.